Welcome back to Battlefield 2042. In this video I want to talk to you about Battlefield 2042 being a scam. And I think I've covered videos similar to this in the past. However, I saw this very interesting post on Reddit that further sort of enhances my claims sort of over the years. And that's about these gaming news outlets or media outlets, whatever they want to call themselves, just being straight up ridiculous. Before we jump any further into this one, if you are not currently subbed to the channel, make sure you sub, turn notifications on. All support is greatly appreciated. And if you would like to support me further as a creator, check out the links in the description. We have YouTube channel memberships, merch, Patreon, buy me a coffee, all that good stuff. And let's get into it. So this Reddit post says, never forget that gaming news outlets were paid by publishers. This shows how greedy the gaming industry has become in the last decade. It's not necessarily that they've been paid. A lot of the time they're just given the game free and they're given it really early so they can get their reviews done before the games come out, because that improves the chances of people reading their articles. But I've said this for years. Companies like IGN, they're all a load of shit. They really are, because they take a bad game and they give it an 8 or a 9. They take a really good one, and because they weren't given it early, because it weren't given to them for free, they go and give it a 4 or a 5. And a lot of the time, the gaming journalists, whatever you want to call them, the people that play these games, are like fucking bots. They don't know their arse from their elbow, don't know how to hold a controller or use a mouse and keyboard. That's how it is in a lot of cases. Some gaming journalists, absolutely fantastic at what they do. A lot of them, as I said, complete bots. But in terms of Battlefield 2042, what we have is an image here that's on, I believe it's the Battlefield website. And it says, the next generation of all-out war is here. Play Battlefield 2042 today. Adapt and overcome dynamically changing battlegrounds with the help of your squad and a cutting-edge arsenal. Well, there you go. It started already with the scam part of it. Dynamically changing battlegrounds. Nothing changes. You get a fucking tornado that just whips across the map. But here's some of the reviews that these companies have left. So, IGN said impressively huge. I mean, I don't know if they're talking about Battlefield 2042 or not. Games Radar said spectacular. EGM gave it a 5 out of 5. COG Connected or COG Connected gave it a 90 out of 100. So just simplify that, a fucking 9 out of 10. Digital Trends, nothing matches 2042's scale and quality. Quality? Fucking hell. PC Games N, one of my favourite games in the series. Tech Radar, 4 out of 5. Digital Trends, 4.5 out of 5. So Digital Trends actually had a full-on rating and then a little quote as well. So nothing matches the scale and quality, 4.5 out of 5. But with that, it's led me to look into the reviews themselves, and I found an interesting thing about this. I don't know who's in charge of taking like a phrase or a word or something like that. I don't know who's in charge of taking parts of the reviews and implementing them as like the showcase of the review. So where it says for PC Games N, one of my favourite games in the series, what this actually says in the review is, when everything works, Battlefield 2042 is easily one of my favourite games in the series. But it's rare to make it through a match without feeling like something has rattled loose from deep inside the game engine, and no amount of Portal-induced nostalgia can mask the feeling that this game feels rushed out the door. So there was more added onto that, and the review phrase, or whatever you want to call it, to showcase how good the game is, just took the part where they said one of my favourite games in the series. And that sort of stuff happens quite often. So that's why these reviewers, these big like news outlets, cannot be trusted. There's also a part in this review, and this further backs why you can't trust them. I'm just trying to find it again. 2042 definitely runs smoother in Hazard Zone compared to Conquest or Breakthrough, and that's most likely due to the lack of vehicles and a lower player count. I tried switching to a 1440p display, which boosted my frame rate even further, but then my mouse stopped responding correctly. No matter what settings I altered, my mouse cursor was always delayed by a second, causing my first session to be borderline unplayable. This didn't occur in subsequent sessions, which is odd because the game and indeed my setup hasn't received an update. It's great that it's working now, but it doesn't instill much confidence. Do you want to know the worst thing about this? This review, and probably the reason they don't have the rating on the little showcase section, was given a 7. PC Games N, after having a non-responsive mouse, after trying everything to improve the frame rate, after rarely making it through a match without feeling like something has rattled loose from deep inside the game engine, they gave it a fucking 7. If a game, and as they say, if a game is borderline unplayable, whether it's one match or 100, you cannot give it a 7 out of 10. There is no way. You would have to give it, at most being generous, a 4. This game, from my experience, I don't typically rate games, but from my experience, I would give it, I'm going to say a 4.5. And the reason I give it a 4.5, and it's close to being 50 out of 100 or whatever, is because I absolutely love Portal. If I didn't enjoy Portal, so Conquest of Ages, Rush of Ages, Battlefield 2042 Rush, the odd server I find through actually browsing for them instead of just playing on the featured section, if I didn't enjoy that stuff, I would give this a 1 or a 2. I'd probably meet in the middle just for the sake of it and go 1.5. So this gets an extra 3 on my rating because I love Portal. You cannot give a game that at any stage of your play session has been borderline unplayable a 7 out of fucking 10. But that's what I mean when I say this game's a scam. They told us they were months ahead of schedule. We had actual developers for the game saying they're very proud of what they've done, saying it's easy to fix bugs. But then you get shit like this where EGM are giving it a 5 out of 5. That's a perfect score, saying this game is perfect. I mean, what did they do? Jump onto, say, Orbital or Manifest, one of the smaller maps, and play solo? There is no way EGM played a multiplayer match on All Out Warfare. Absolutely no way. And then Digital Trends, just as fucking deluded, a 4.5 out of 5. Nothing matches 2042 scale and quality. Quality is non-existent in most areas of the game. And the scale, I mean, there probably are things out there that match the scale, if not, are even bigger. But bigger isn't necessarily better, as this game has proved. 64-player Conquest has done a lot better than 128-player Conquest because of the performance issues. They overcrowded it, they made the maps too big and empty, so it should be nothing matches 2042's lack of quality, and things might match 2042 scale. Something like that. That would have been more of a realistic sort of review to leave. So yeah, with everything going on with the game, people paying $120 for this title, and being dragged in by these 7 out of 10s even though it was borderline unplayable at points, and all these lies of 5 out of 5, 90 out of, well, 9 out of 10, spectacular, nothing matches the scale and quality, 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5. All these companies can go fuck themselves, and they should never ever be trusted. I know a lot of people stay clear of IGN, and it's for very good reason. But I'm just making this video to showcase how bad it actually can be. I remember there were YouTubers saying about Cyberpunk 2077. I always bring that up in videos, Cyberpunk. But that's like on the same sort of level of failure as 2042. The only difference is Sony, Steam, Xbox, they're not as willing to refund players, which I think is a load of bullshit. They need to open up their refunds. But yeah, there were a lot of YouTubers out there that were giving Cyberpunk 8s out of 10, 9s out of 10. And then as soon as people realised how bad the game really was, like in terms of, say, the Xbox One, the PS4, some of these YouTubers ended up making their reviews private so nobody could see them, because it come back to bite them in the arse that they had highly praised a broken fail of a game. I mean, look at Cyberpunk 2077. It's been over a year and it still hasn't received DLC. They've had to spend that much time fixing the broken mess. So yeah, Battlefield 2042 is a scam. As always, the news outlets and stuff lied about it. There was a lot of misleading from developers and all that sort of stuff. The marketing, the hype building, It was all for EA to just rob players. As a lot of AAA gaming companies do nowadays, it was all to milk money out of the community without giving a single fuck. For a lot of players, $120 down the drain. And the worst thing is, even if people are still trying to enjoy the game, it's going to be a lot harder. Some servers, you spend maybe 10-15 minutes plus looking for a match, at peak times as well. And other servers, you're just finding bot-filled lobbies or empty portal lobbies because there's just no one playing the game. When I say no one playing the game, there's around 5,000 on Steam, but comparing that to 100k, there's no one playing the game. But what we're going to do is wrap the video up there. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it.